In this video, we'll start organizing the Cafe Pro theme as if we're building it for a photographer. We'll customize WordPress with custom post types, taxonomies, and custom fields so that our client, the photographer, can use the site to organize images in a specific way. By planning how the site needs to arrange and display the content in advance, you'll have a roadmap for how to create your custom post type. By going through this process, you'll see how no matter what theme you're using, WordPress can manage content however the client or website visitor needs it to be organized. Let's start by taking a look at a test site I've made on my local development environment at the WP Dev Course 2 WordPress installation. It's a Genesis site with the Cafe theme, which should look pretty familiar to you here, but it's not on our student sandbox area. I've been playing with it in my local environment to show you how you can set up custom post types using that Custompress plugin. As we go, I'll be logging back into the student sandbox area and going through the steps with you so that you can experiment with the Custompress Custom Post Types plugin and configure the Cafe Pro theme as you like. We're going to be setting this up as if we're doing it for a photographer. And as we scroll down on the homepage, I've just added a series of widgets into the front page area right here, front page 2. And one of them I activated with an image and some copy and a link to a photo type. I made a custom post type called photographs, and I made a taxonomy called photo types. We're basically going to be categorizing the photographer's photographs into 4 different categories. One of them is dogs, and then we'll also be using people, landscapes, and still lifes as 3 more categories. So I just clicked that button that led me to the category page or the custom post type page called dogs. You can see that it's WP Dev Course 2 /photo_type and then /dogs. And dogs is the name of the custom taxonomy that is one of the different taxonomies under photographs. But if you look at the display page, what I've got is a certain individual post, which is one of the photographs posts, and the title is Bradley. I've got a photograph of a dog, some content here, and you can see down on the left-hand side, it's filed under dogs. This is the page we're looking at right now. And on the right-hand side, it's tagged with a couple of tags. So I've got 3 posts here so far. Each of them is clickable through the title or the link, just like a standard post inside of WordPress. And then I've got individual pages displayed with a full width image as well as a footer that comes up with some data about the image itself. Now, these are using custom fields. We haven't gone over custom fields very much, but if you remember in a previous chapter, in the Author Pro theme, there were some custom fields that the user could use to define different types of information about the books or the plays. In this case, we've got custom fields for the type of camera, the type of lens, and the date the photograph was taken. So that was just a small tour of how I've set up custom post types within the Cafe Pro theme using Custompress. Now, let's go back and start setting it up ourselves in the Student Sandbox. Go ahead and log into the Student Sandbox. Make sure you're in the Cafe Pro theme site that we've been working on, and it'd be a good idea to open up the live site inside of a second tab. Inside the Student Sandbox, in the Cafe Pro theme WordPress dashboard, go ahead and open up Plugins. Scroll down just a little bit and find Custompress and click Activate. Great, now that that plugin is activated, you'll see a toolbar item on the left-hand side called Custompress, and it contains all the setup screens for setting up your custom post types, as well as some global settings for the plugin itself. We won't be using it, but it also enables you to import and export custom post types from site to site. Another thing you'll notice is an additional menu item on the left side called Photographs, with submenu items called Add New, Tags, and Photo Types, which is just like up in Posts, the All Posts button, Add New, Categories, and Tags. If you look at Photographs again, we've got how to add a new photograph. This is our list of photograph posts. We have a standard tags taxonomy, and then a custom photo types taxonomy, which is just like categories for posts. Because I created this custom post type called photographs previous to you downloading your new Sandbox site, when you activated the Custompress plugin, all the data was already in the database from the 30 posts that I created, and I connected 30 media images as well with 4 different categories called photo types in the categories of still life, people, landscape, and dogs. Go ahead and open up under Photographs, click Photographs, so we get a list of posts in our custom post type called Photographs. You'll see that there's 30 items, and they're all titled, and they have a little bit of information across the top. Follow along as I show you how I created this post type, as well as some other items. If you look under Custompress content types, we've got a photograph post type, as well as a taxonomies tab and custom fields that I'll be customizing for you, and I've already created, that's already live inside of your Sandbox site. So if you have the Custompress content type screen open, follow along as I show you how I created the custom post type, the custom taxonomy, and the custom fields. So click Photograph, and let's check out the editing post type screen. You can see that I've used photograph up here. Now I'll cut to the footage where I created this post type itself. So let's use the word photograph right here as the post type, and once you name it, you can't change it. If you needed to change the name of it, you'd have to create a new post type for that. It doesn't matter if you capitalize it or not, it'll change it to all lowercase. We're going to leave title checked, and we're going to register support for the editor, that's the post editor, so that we can add content to this custom post type. We're going to be using the featured image, so we'll click thumbnail, and we'll also allow an excerpt for our new posts. And then we can scroll down and leave the rest unchecked. Now, we are going to be making a custom post type like a category, but let's assign regular taxonomies, categories, and tags so that the theme will be able to display both of these and our custom ones as well. As we go down, leave the default settings for capability type, and make sure that map meta capabilities is checked as true. And as we go down, we're going to be choosing how WordPress displays the labels for this custom post type. So we have photographs, usually plural for the name. The singular name is going to be photograph. Add new, and add new item should be add new photograph. And I'm just going to keep going down, and I've done this before. You can see that it's filling in the fields for me as I go. This little bit of text gives you a suggestion about what the default is, and so you can define it for your own post type name. So it'll be new photograph here, view photograph. If we want to search photographs, you can see that it's usually plural. No photographs found. No photographs found in trash. This one we can see that it's not used on non-hierarchical types, which is what this is, but you can put parent photograph if you like. It won't actually be used. And then in the custom fields block, photograph information. As we go down this left-hand column, we can leave the description blank for now. We can choose where to put our menu item here on the left-hand side. I'm just going to place it here below pages, which is instructed down here. We can leave the icon blank, and it will use the pin icon. That's the default icon for posts right here, push pin. So we'll scroll back up and go down this right-hand side. We're pretty much leaving these to the default. It'll be public, so we leave that as true. These aren't changeable right now since it's public. So we'll go down to the next selection. This isn't going to be a hierarchical post type, but when we do go up and choose a taxonomy for it, we're going to make a hierarchical taxonomy, which we can have parent and child categories basically for these photographs if we need to. So I'll leave this as false. It has an archive true, and I'd like it to be called photographs. Also, I'll have rewrite as true and just leave this as the default. And in terms of EP mask and endpoint mask, this is more advanced, but we can just leave none checked. Leave query var true, and this export or import true, that's fine. And then click add post type. And now by doing that, I've created a post type called photograph, and therefore I can create posts that are photograph posts. And now we can create a custom taxonomy for it, basically a category, as well as a series of custom fields. Let's click the next tab across called taxonomies, and we're going to create a taxonomy for our custom post type. So click add taxonomy, and we've got, again, a 2-column layout of a whole bunch of different settings for this custom taxonomy. It's the same type of thing. So use photo underscore type, and we're going to make this available for the photograph custom post type. So only check photograph. And then as we go down, again, we're going to use photo type, usually plural. So we need this one to be photo types. And the singular one is called photo type. Add new would be add new photo type. A new photo type. This is what it'll say when we want to edit the photo type. Update photo type. Search photo types, usually. It's a plural. This one will be popular photo types. This one is all photo types. This one would be parent photo type. And with a colon, this will be parent photo type with a colon. Add or remove. Now, this isn't used on hierarchical taxonomies. We are going to define this taxonomy as a hierarchical one. So I'm leaving this one blank. This one isn't used on hierarchical taxonomies, so I'm leaving separate items blank. And I'm also leaving choose from most used blank, because this is going to be a hierarchical taxonomy, basically similar to categories. Almost finished. Now we can click true for show admin column. This lets us show the different types of columns inside of the admin area. It'll show us information about each of our taxonomies if we like. We want to leave it public, and then these are just automatically selected for us. This is important. Under hierarchical, we're going to make this true, so that our custom taxonomy here is like categories, not like tags. So we can leave the rest the same as the default. Rewrite it needs to be true. The EP mask can be none. And then add taxonomy type. Great. One more setting inside of custom fields. We're going to add a custom field for our post type. Now we'll just create 3 different custom fields. One for the type of camera. And I've found using this plugin, it's nice to have a colon at the end of the title because the display is a little bit easier. So if we look over at my example here, remember in our single post, if we scroll down, it shows some image data. So camera colon, and then whatever the photographer filled in inside the post. And then lens, and then what type of lens. And we're going to set up those custom fields right now inside of your student sandbox site. So use camera colon. It doesn't necessarily have to be required, but I think I did require the type of camera, but then leave the lens and the date open. You can leave the default for these. Now this one, I've used a radio button with 2 different cameras. So you could put anything you want here really, but I put 2 different cameras that I own. And I'll add another option called iPhone 6s. So 2 types of cameras, one or the other, makes it easy for the user to choose from the 2. And we're going to be using this custom field in one of our post types, and it's the photograph post type. So then scroll down and add that custom field. And now we're going to do 2 more, and we're done. So now we'll do lens colon. We can make that non-required, because obviously if you're going to use the iPhone, you might not put a lens. So I don't want to make that required. We can leave it as a text box so that it can fill in whatever lens. And we need to then add it to this post type, and that's our last step. Last one. Just in case the person is adding a bunch of photographs into their website and it's all on a certain date, they don't want to have to go and change the date of the post, but we'll have a specific date taken field so that the photograph was taken on a certain date. And in this way, we can use any of these selections, and let's experiment with the date picker. And so this is good. You can go and choose the way that you want to have the date formatted for you. For us, it's usually like this in the USA. So I'll select that one and go down and select for this custom post type again and click Add Custom Field. In this video, you've followed along with the setup steps for creating a certain custom post type called photographs using the Custompress plugin. Since you activated the plugin, however, I've populated your sandbox site with the content and images you need, and your custom post type, photographs, is already fleshed out with your content. That way, you won't have to create each of the posts yourself. In the next video, you'll start by creating a few new posts for your custom post type. Then, you'll customize the display of the new content inside the Cafe Pro theme. Let's do it.